Alright guys, YouTube says I'm live. YouTube never lies, right? Don't know about that, but anyways, welcome in. This is Hanging with Dave. Little broadcast I do every weekend here, a little live stream that I do every weekend. Pretty well, I just go down through the comments that's been left, the questions that have been left on my videos for the past week, kind of give the subscribers a chance to hang out with me. A few disclaimers I need to throw out. I do enjoy me a cold beer tonight. Every time I do it, usually a couple of them. I'm also a truck driver by trade, so you may hear a little bit of foul language come out. I try to keep that to a minimal, but it does happen from time to time. If either one of them really bother you, maybe this ain't the right stream for you. Also, I ain't very good with the English language, let alone some of these YouTube handles you guys come up with. So if I do butcher your name, I apologize in advance for that. And I also want to thank everybody that's watched my videos and left comments and liked and shared and all that. That means a lot to me. Kind of makes me feel good that somebody out there is enjoying the content I put out. We got King Afrayo in chat. He says, how's it going? It's going pretty good. How about yourself? Hope this Saturday's treating you well. And just a few disclaimers. When it comes to the tech questions, I get a lot of, especially on the overclocking ports or overclocking videos that I put out. This is my ports and this and that. What kind of performance should I get? What numbers should I exactly put in? I kind of do my best to lead you down the, lead you down the right path, but, every CPU and RAM module is different, even if I had the exact same ports, or what we can get out of them would vary. Good, just quarantined. Yeah, I understand that one. I've been working so much lately, I kind of wish I was quarantined some. If you're having problems with your computer or whatnot, I try to help you the best I can. A lot of them, I went back and watched some of these after I put them up, and they sound kind of stupid answers or common sense answers. But I kind of give you just a starting point to where to start looking for to fix the problem. I try to give you the exact answer if possible, but without knowing the system, without having the system run my own diagnostics, it's kind of hard for me to do so, but I give you the best that I can. You have so much tech. Yeah, I spend a lot of money on tech. That I do. Actually, I just spent $900 on a porch to build a gaming computer for the channel. It's going to be an all AMD build. I just put that out. Spent about $900 on that, on the porch for that system. I just bought me an Elgato 4K capture card, which I want to get the channel up to doing 4K video for you guys. YouTube promotes 4K so much better than 1080p. I almost have to if I want the channel to go anyplace. Also spent what was it, about $1,000 I think it was. I got the Lumix G85 camera for the 4K content. And I got a 4K monitor ordered. It's a 27-inch 4K monitor. If I wanted to get into 4K, I need to be able to edit at 4K. So I got that. Of course, all of it's investments for the channel. That is kind of a tax write-off for me because it is for the channel. But still, I do put quite a bit of money out. And I'm not saying this just to showboat or to say this or that, but it also proves to you that everything you see on my channel is bought by me. I don't have stuff gave to me. Nobody pays for anything that I say about a product. Everything's my own opinion. So you don't have to worry about nothing like that. Which kind of keeps me honest and keeps me grounded that way, But let's go ahead and jump over here, and we'll start out with these comments and questions that were left for this past week. Sorry about the whining pup in the background. We just got us a new puppy and he's having an allergic reaction. I gave him a Benadryl to calm it down, but he's still whining some because of it. Ain't you, boy? Yeah. So he'll probably be whining quite a bit here while I do this tonight. Let me get us flipped over here. There we go. Like I said, these are the comments that's been left for the past week or so. I want to thank everybody that's watched and enjoyed the videos. I hope you guys have learned something from them. And, you know, I try to help you guys as much as I can, as much as I possibly can. Let's see here. 6 days ago, we have Plezik 29, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM on a Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard. Using autofocus with a camera is a terrible idea. You know, I've learned that the hard way. I still use autofocus. But, you know, I want to try to get away from it whenever I get my G85 in. Let's see here. We have Snorlax Gaming, I guess the way you pronounce that. Overclocking your RAM. Hey Dave, can I overclock my Ryzen 3400 with the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard? Sure you can. It's an overclocking motherboard. Don't expect too much out of it. It's got lower very small VRMs on it. The overclocking capability on that ain't very good. But yeah, you can overclock the 3400G with that motherboard. Most AMD AM4 motherboards that are overclockable. You can overclock it, just don't expect too much out of it. He came back again on how to overclock the Ryzen 2400G. He says, hey Dave, can I do the same with the 3400G? I'm using the same motherboard. I hope you could help me. Thanks in advance. Yes, you can. That overclocking guide, it's a 3-port series. He actually commented on port 3. I was kind of stumbling my way through trying to figure it out myself. Actually, when I did that series, I wasn't expecting to be a 3-port series, but it ended up being that. But yeah, 3400G is basically a 2400G, just a little bit better speeds out of it. So the same techniques should work with 3400 as they would for the 2400G. Let's see here. We have Zozar Conceptgo, I guess the way you pronounce that. I'm not too sure. Sorry if I butchered that. I know I did. How to disable the onboard graphics for the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard. Says it helped me. Thanks. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad I could help you. Ronald Dischan, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM. Awesome. The BIOS GUI is a nightmare. Ha ha ha. It can be, especially on Gigabyte, because they mispronounce a lot of the words and whatnot in the BIOS. Try to figure out what they mean by the slang that they use. It can be tough. This guy's got a couple comments here. We got Tuft Reno 3732. Looks like they was off 3 days ago. Let's see, we'll start with this top one up here. I was going to put the Ryzen 3 3100 my first PC build, but how do I go ort doing that? I guess that's probably about doing that, because the computer won't post without the BIOS being updated, right? But I can't update the BIOS before it posts. So I'm stuck. What do I do? Please help me. And he sent me his email address. The next one is at Dave's Techway. I want to build my first PC. I want to put in the Ryzen 3100 and the same motherboard that you have in this video, but I don't think the motherboard supports 3rd gen, like you said. So I'm not sure at getting the CPU will be pointless if I can't do the BIOS with it. Should I get the Ryzen 2600 to be on the safe side and then update it or will it be okay? PC Poor Pickle says that there's any kind of compatibility, but I know that it is updated. It will work. Email me at, please, anyone can answer, not just Dave. Sorry I messed up the email. That's not mine. Mine has numbers. Okay. Most of the motherboards, if you're buying them new, the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard, nowadays, as long as the motherboard says Ryzen 3000 ready on it, you should be able to put in that 3100 and you should be alright. There is ways around this. If not, AMD will loan you a CPU to update the BIOS with. You just have to, Google search it. I'm sure there'll be plenty of places out there where you can get in contact with AMD to get your CPU to update it. Also, you could take it and maybe one of your local repair shops, computer repair shops, if you're in a bigger town or whatnot, maybe they'll do it for very little money or even free just to get you to come into the shop. There's a few ideas on how to get around that. But as long as you buy it and on the box it says 3000 ready. Let me show you what I mean here. Gigabyte B450. See, I searched this so much that it shows up already. Let's see, Amazon. Does that one say it? That one don't say it. I know if you buy from Newegg, they usually say Ryzen 3000 ready on the box. Where was it? Where was it? I thought it was right down in this corner. Maybe I was wrong. It happens from time to time. But, okay, it don't say it on the box. But if you look down here, it says support AMD 3rd Gen Ryzen, 2nd Gen Ryzen, 1st Gen Ryzen. If you get one that says it supports the 3rd Gen Ryzen, you're going to be alright. That 3100 you can put in it, plug and play, just like installing any other CPU. It'd probably be on F40. I wouldn't say much higher than F40, but it would be compatible with that 3rd Gen processor for you. So just look under the, come down here a little bit and look, make sure it says Ryzen 3rd Gen ready. If not, you send it back, get your money back. I mean, that'd be the best way to do it. Just make sure it has support for the 3rd Gen in it. Let's see here, Altar. That was on the Asus Prime B550M A Wi-Fi. I got this motherboard for my first build. Hopefully everything goes well. Well, I hope it does too. I did the unboxing overview of the motherboard. I kind of went down the specs of it. Kind of gave you my thoughts on the motherboard. Which there's a little bit of a twist at the end of that video if you haven't watched it, but I don't recommend the B550 chipsets. I haven't got the build with the motherboard yet. It's still laying over there in its box with the rest of the components for the build that's coming up for the channel. But it's, I hope everything goes well for you, and I hope it does what you need it to do. Let's see here, the 1,000 subs with no videos project. 2 days ago on the Asus Prime B450MA Wi-Fi motherboard unboxing and overview. Thanks for the vid, it helped me tremendously with my decision. I'm going to put this in my first PC build. I'm glad you found some useful information in that. Let's see here, DT Odox Poco, I guess we pronounce that. How to overclock your Ryzen 7 2700 with Ryzen Master. New sub, greeting from Peru. I have the same CPU and motherboard. Well, it's good to hear somebody else has got my kind of taste in computer components. I'm not too sure on which one that was on. I think that was a B550 motherboard, which I've updated that since and went with the X470 motherboard. But thanks for subbing. I'm glad you found information, and I hope the video helped you out a little bit. Lily Pup DT. How to build a game PC in a fractal design Focus G 2019. Why was the RAM over $100? I got 16 gigs, 3200 megahertz for $80. Was this doing a RAM shortage or something? I never actually looked at that video to see when it was published. Let's see when that one was published. I know what the reason was. June the 25th in 2019. That was before the RAM prices dropped. The RAM on that was well over $100 at the time. But that was before the RAM prices dropped down to what they are today. And yeah, now you can get 16 gigs for 80 some dollars. Actually, I just bought a 16 gig kit. Let's see what I've just paid for mine. And this was just a week or so ago I paid this. I got G-Skitter Ripjaws V series, Ripjaws 5. $65 for 16 gigs for 3600 megahertz speeds. Yeah, but in that video, I paid over $100 for that 16 gig kit. Like I said, that was before the memory prices dropped down to where they are now. Let's see here. Who else do we got here? We got Tengu, 1 day ago. Asus Prime B550MA Wi-Fi motherboard unboxing and overview. Can you please help me? I have the Gigabyte A320M S2H motherboard with the Ryzen 3 3200 and GTX 6 gig. 6 gig and 8 gig RAM. The 1060 only came with 3 gigs and 6 gigs, not 6 gigs and 8 gigs, but you only have one or the other unless you're running, oh, okay, I think I get that. GTX 1060 with 6 gigs, and they're running 8 gigs of system RAM. Okay, never mind, I read that a little too fast. My CPU frequency base clock is 3.5, and my CPU is not even reaching 3.2 megahertz. My power option is set to high performance. Please help. Your power option ain't gonna have much of a choice in that. It's only gonna hit that 3.5 if it's under a full load, and it's only gonna hit 3.5 on one core. The rest of your core will probably only run 3.2. But that CPU ain't gonna run no harder than what it has to. If you really want to see if it'll hit that 3.5 gigahertz, I recommend a little program called Prime 95. It will stress test your system for you. It will hit them cores as hard as possible. You'll never have a workload put on that computer like that. I mean, it's unrealistic workload that they put on. 100% cores, 100% threads, you know, and it will definitely hit that 3.5 for you, because that's, if I'm not mistaken, the 2200G, that's supposed to be, it's supposed to boost clock up to 3.5. Let's see here. It's actually supposed to run at 3.5, max frequency of 3.7. Yeah, but it ain't gonna hit that 3.5 gigahertz unless it needs it. Depending on what you're doing with the system, unless you, like I said, unless you're running some kind of program to maximize, you know, to get that CPU to run at 100% on all cores, it ain't gonna hit that 3.5 unless it needs to. If it can do what you're asking of it at 3.2, that's all it's gonna run at. I hope that kind of helps you. You know, like I said, if you run something like Prime 95, you'll see it hit up to that 3.5 on all cores. You'll even see 1 or 2 cores possibly hit 3.7 on it. And I'd also recommend something like HD monitor to hardware monitor to monitor your temps and to actually see what it's actually doing for you. Let's see here. Angel Guazuli, I guess. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that one. How to build it in the gaming PC and the Fractal Design Focus G 2019. This video helped a lot. Thanks, man. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad it helped you out. We have Friday, I guess. How to build a PC in the Cooler Master Expo EVO. That's a ton of thermal paste. Wow, that's a couple of years ago when I did that video. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe I actually went back and I wiped some of it off. Let's see here. Port selection, there we go. There's the thermal paste application. Yeah, once I get the Hyper T12 on it, let's see how bad that thermal paste application actually was. If I ain't mistaken, I think I did put a bunch on it. I think I actually wiped some of it off before I put the heatsink back on it. Let's see how much I put. I'm gonna quit talking, Dave. Put it on there. There you go. There you go. Put it on there. Yep. That is quite a bit of thermal paste. That is way too much thermal paste. Let's see if when I spread it out, if I don't take some of it off. Well, I didn't show it. But I believe I took some of it back off. And it looks like I still didn't take quite enough off of it. It does look like there's still quite a bit of thermal paste on there. A lot more than what was needed. I can't remember what it looked like when I took that heatsink off. But, yeah, you're right. That was a ton of thermal paste. I definitely did need that much. Looks like that may be the end of them. Okay, we got a new one that came in 1 hour ago on the Asus Prime B550M. Nice video, but how much is it better than the B450 one? I never had that one on the B450. It seems like it's a little bit better made. Depending on the processor you're running, that motherboard's got a lot of limitations on the processors. Like I showed in the video, you need to check the CPU supported list. It only supports 3000 series processors. It don't support any of the 2000 series processors at all. Excuse me. Which is one of the big downsides of B550. That's why I recommend the X570 if you're going to spend that kind of money. Basically the only thing that one's going to have over the B450 would be the 16 times 4.0 expansion slots for your NVMe and your graphics card, which your graphics card can't even take advantage of 4.0 yet. It give you a little bit, give you the ability to run a little bit faster. Also, that B550 motherboard is going to support the 3000 series and the 4000 series processors, which the B450 is supposed to as well, but you got to download and update your BIOS to the beta BIOS, which is going to knock out compatibility for some of the older CPUs, which may or may not concern you. But to actually have a fair comparison between the Asus B550 and the 450, I don't have the Asus Prime 450 to compare it to. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty well made motherboard and this and that, but to me, the price don't justify the cost of it. It's a cut down version of an X570, and you're paying about the same amount of money for a B550 as you are a 570. It ain't like the B450. Yes, the B450 was a cutback version of the X470, but you can see a big price kite. You can spend $85-$90 on a B450, but to get into the X470s, you'd have to spend $125. These B550s is a cutback version of the X570, but they're running the same price. But to have a head comparison between the two, I really couldn't tell you. I don't have the B550M to compare it to. I said when I did that unboxing and overview that, by feeling it, by lifting it, by twisting it a little bit, it felt like it was a little bit better made. To actually have a fair comparison, I guess you could just compare the specs on it. Run down the VRMs and all that and whatnot. I don't see where the B550 has much better over the B450. I don't recommend the 550 chipset if you watched it to the end. I want to thank everybody that was watching my videos. I want to thank everybody that's watched my videos and liked my videos, shared my videos, and gave me comments. You know, it kind of makes this live stream go through the week. You know, on the weekend, it kind of gives me something to talk about on the live stream. My job, it's been pretty demanding on me. I've been working every weekend. This is my first weekend off in quite some time. The mandatory Saturdays is over with on my job, so I can get back to doing what I love, and that's making content for YouTube. Actually, this morning I put in about 6 hours recording 2 different videos. I got the Fractal Design Celsius Plus S28 install and performance of it. I got a lot of the recording done for that one. I'm also working on one for ARGB and RGB, how you hook up all these different lights and all these different fans. You know, how do you hook up an ARGB system if you don't have an ARGB header, you only have an RGB header? And yes, they are different, and yes, there is a way to do so. Cost a little bit more, but you know, that's the price you pay. And if you're going to be running ARGB, or you're planning on putting it all in one liquid cooler or something that needs an ARGB header on it, that's something to look at when you buy your motherboard. So them will be coming up here soon on the channel. Like I mentioned earlier, I've got a $900 build. I paid for everything out of my pocket. That's going to be coming up on the channel. My build videos usually run pretty long, so I'm going to break it into kind of a series. You know, I'm going to do the build of it. Then later on, I want to do the how well it performs at 1080p gaming. And I still don't agree with trying to build your own computer right now unless you absolutely have to. The price is still, you know, you used to pay 50, 60 bucks for a 500 watt power supply. I paid almost 90 for one, just to be able to get the ports to do this build. You know, the RAM prices is down, the SSD prices is down. Availability is off the wall. I mean, you know, I actually got 3600 for the system I'm building. I was actually getting ready to pull the trigger on a 3600X and recommend the 3600. But luckily on Newegg, I went in to order a 3600X actually, and they had the 3600 in stock. So, you know, I was lucky to find one of them in stock. So I did get one of them for the system. The motherboard's the Asus Prime. I got an AMD Radeon, what is it, Gigabyte 5600 XT for the graphics card. I got the 500 or 550 watt EVGA power supply, which, like I said, them things are way outpriced. Got 16 gigs of RAM going in the system. You can see back here in the box, up there, it's going into Messified C Mini. And there's ways you can cut down the price of the build and still get you a decent gaming performance out of it. You know, some of the prices, some of the ports I put into it's a little extreme. But when I do my builds, I also look at, you know, what I think is going to do well on YouTube. That's why you see a lot of unboxing videos and whatnot on the channel, because for what I order, because I do pay for everything out of pocket, it comes in slowly. When I get a build like this, you know, there's 3 or 4 parts that I can do the unboxing overview of the components. Then I have the build video. Now I try to get as many videos as I can, or as much content for the channel as I can, out of my money. So that's why you see a lot of the components, you know, graphic card, motherboard, cases, everything like that. You know, I go through an unboxing overview, and then I use them in a build. Also, once I get that system built, I want to use it for a cheap or a budget solution to add ARGB or RGB lights to your computer. You know, what's coming up about the differences and how to hook all these ARGBs and RGBs up ain't the most, what I want to say, it ain't the most budget friendly solution on it. I guess is the best way to say that. But you know, once I get that $900 bill, I want to use it for, you know, some other video projects coming up. You know, if you guys have any ideas for projects, if you want to see a video on a certain topic or whatever, it ain't gonna cost me too much money to get it done. I'll be more than happy to do for you. Just like the one coming up about RGB and ARGBs. You know, actually having a conversation with somebody through the comments about that. And someone recommended me to do that video. So it's actually a recommended video through a viewer. And if I think it does well, it ain't gonna cost me too much money, which this one cost me quite a bit of money, but it has quite a bit of bling to my system too, which I don't know. I got it done today. I got the RGBs put in. I put my computer back behind my desk, downloaded the software to control the lights. I turned them off. Imagine that. But I still have the AIO that I put in it that helps my CPU temperatures a lot. Because, you know, I do a lot of video editing and whatnot. It does hit that CPU pretty hard. And Focus G case, a little spoiler alert. If you plan on running a 280mm in the front of it, don't do it. I know it's a $50 case. I know that Fractal Design Celsius Plus S28 was a lot more expensive than what the case was. But I had to do some modifications to the case to get that thing to fit in the front. Which I kind of go through a little bit of a rant about that whenever I did the video. Because it says it supports it. And I can't find nothing, no place that says you have to modify the case or you need to remove ports or anything like that to fit the 280 in the front. But I kind of went into expecting something like that. But it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So there's a little bit of a rant about Fractal Design and that case design, saying that it'll support it when it don't support it natively. I did a little bit of damage to the radiator trying to get it in and out of there, trying to get it to fit right and whatnot. So, yeah, you know, if you want to watch me rant about something, now, you'll need to see that video when I put it up live. If you got any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them in chat now. I went ahead and went down through all the comments for this past week. Oh. If nothing else comes in through the comments here, I think I'm going to pretty well wrap it up for the day. Sorry about the way I sound tonight. I'm not feeling the best, but the show must go on, right? But if you like this kind of content, you like tech and you're on a budget and whatnot, make sure you go down there and give me a like. Give me a dislike if you don't like this kind of content. You think I'm crazy and completely out of my mind. If you really like this kind of content, make sure you get down and hit that subscribe button and notification bell where you're notified next time I go live or I put a video here on YouTube. And, you know, if you leave a comment, I'll go through it next weekend. Speaking of that, since my job is not mandatory overtime anymore, it's volunteer my overtime, and I done told my supervisor I wouldn't be there for the voluntary. Starting next Saturday, I will be back at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the morning, instead of in the evenings. Morning time just kind of fits in with my time schedule a little bit better. So that's starting next week. I will be back at 11 a.m. here on Saturday mornings instead of Saturday afternoons. So that will be a change coming up here on the channel. I don't think the channel has done a whole anything that really needs to be talked about here. We are up to over 650 subscribers, so the community's grown quite a bit since last week. I guess that's a good thing. There's also links in the description. If you'd like to come over and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, there's links in the description to come over there and do that. You know, I don't kill your inbox. I do, you know, every time I get new products coming in or whatnot, I put them out there on Twitter or Instagram. Just kind of give you guys an idea of the stuff that's coming in and kind of let your imagination wonder what kind of videos I'm going to come up with, which is pretty simple. You know, so if you'd like to come over there and follow me, I'm also on them 2 social media platforms. Nothing else has came in through chat. I want to thank you guys that's watched me tonight and came and hung out with me. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. But with all that being said, you all enjoy your Saturday or what's left of it and the rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.